Hello there, you. Are you all tucked in, ready to go to sleep? Good. I have a couple of my favorite Aesop's Fables for you. I read these all the time when I was a kid. I was really into them. I had a lot of fun. I remember going to this little after-school kind of daycare thing when I was no more than 8, maybe 9. And I would rush and I would get this book and I would read it every day, and I loved the pictures, and it was such a big, thick, heavy book too, because it was all the fables and they were all illustrated, and I really enjoyed it. And I did it every single day until somebody taught me chess, because at first, when I saw people playing chess, I went, that's silly. Why would you play that instead of checkers? And then someone showed me how powerful the queen was, and I went, well, that's silly. You only have one of those. I don't want to play a game where you only have one powerful piece. And then they showed me how the knight moves, and I went, oh, what? He moves like an L? That's like a superpower. And I was hooked ever since, and then I would run and go and play chess every day instead. So, this is bringing me way back. I haven't read these. Now, I'm going to say that I'm not sure these are 100% appropriate for bedtime stories, since they're going to make you stretch your noodle a little bit, and they're not always so nice, but I thought might as well try. So, let us read the first one. This is one of my favorites. This one stuck with me throughout all the years, and I never hear it cited. It's called The Wolf and the Lamb. One day, a wolf and a lamb happened to come at a stream at the same time, a brook that ran down the side of the mountain. The wolf wished very much to eat the lamb, but meeting her as he did, face to face, he thought he must find some excuse for doing so. So he began to try and pick a fight, and said angrily, "How dare you come to my brook and muddy the water so that I cannot drink it? What do you mean by this? Arr, arr, arr." The lamb, very much alarmed, said gently, "I do not see how that can be. I have not spoiled the water. You stand higher in the stream, and the water runs from you to me, not from me to you." "Be that as it may," said the wolf with a snarl, "you are a rascal all the same, for I have heard you that last year you said bad things of me behind my back." "Dear Mr. Wolf," cried the poor lamb, "that could not be me, for a year ago I was not born. I am only 6 months old." Finding it of no use to argue any more, the wolf began to snarl and show his teeth. Coming closer to the lamb, he said, "You little wretch, if it was not you, it was your father, so it's all the same." And then he pounced upon the lamb and ate her all up. Arr, 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 arr. People are going to do what they're going to do. That's what I take away from it. I wonder what your lesson is. Here, this next one. This one's very famous. I'd say it's probably the most famous of all of Aesop's Fables, so much so that we still use an idiom of it to this very day. So, it was a sultry day, and a fox was almost famishing with hunger and thirst. He was just saying to himself that anything would be acceptable to him when, looking up, he spied some great clusters of ripe black grapes hanging from a tree-styled vine. "What luck," he said. "If only they weren't quite so high, I should be sure of a fine feast. I wonder if I can get them. I can think of nothing that would so refresh me." Jumping into the air is not the easiest thing in the world for a fox to do, but he gave a great spring and nearly reached the lowest clusters. "I'll do better next time," he said, and he tried again and again, but did not succeed so well at first. Finding that he was losing his strength and that he had little chance of getting the grapes, he walked slowly off, grumbling as he did so. "The grapes are sour, and not at all fit for my eating. I'll leave them for some greedy birds. They'll eat anything." I love that one. I love that we still say sour grapes to this day. Just remember, if somebody treats you with disrespect after you've declined, just remember sour grapes. They're just being a stubborn little fox. And since those two aren't particularly nice, I thought we would end on one of the nicest stories I've ever heard. I've come across this story in lots and lots of different kinds of literature. The parable is not really very well known today, despite soup kitchens still being very, very popular in the world. This is gone by so many names and told so many ways, and I hope you like it the way that I do. I very much enjoy this one. One very stormy day, a poor man came into a rich man's house to beg. "Away with you," said the servants. "Do not come here troubling us." Then said the man, "Only let me come in and dry my clothes at your fire." This, the servant thought, would not cost them anything, so they let him come in. The poor man then asked the cook to let him have a pan so that he could make stone broth. "Stone broth," said the cook. "I should like to see how you can make broth out of a stone." So she gave him a pan. The man filled it with water from the pump, and then put a stone into the road, and put both upon the burner. "But you must have some salt," said the cook. "Do you think so?" courteously replied the stranger. She gave him the salt, and before long she added some peas, some mint, and some thyme. At last she brought him some scraps of all the meat she could find, so that the poor man's broth made him a very good dinner. "You see," said the man, "that if you only try long enough and are cheerful, making the best of what you have, you may at last get what you want." It's a little on the nose for an Aesop's fable. He typically ends them just a little bit of a question mark, but there's one he tells you right where it is. My favorite version of that is a Greek myth where the charismatic traveler actually walks into a tavern, and the tavern owner cooks the broth for him, and the tavern owner is astounded, and he then decides to make stone broth for every poor person who begs and is polite. And I like that ending very much. I hope you're all ready for bed. You're not too sad over the lamb getting eaten. Lambs do get eaten by wolves. Nom, 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 nom. And I look forward to telling you some more bedtime stories soon.